Curly heard one click. Just one. Small, dry, almost polite. Curly kept both eyes closed. That was the mature response. The sound did not repeat. That should have helped. It did not. Now the room had a history. Before the click, the room was just dark. After the click, the room was involved. Curly waited. Nothing happened. The blanket stayed still. The ceiling stayed where it belonged. The phone stayed face down near the edge of the bed. Everything looked innocent for something Curly could not see. Curly opened one eye. The room was too dark to defend itself. Curly closed the eye again. The click returned. Same place. Maybe, or not. Sound moved differently at night. It became less honest. Curly stopped breathing for a second, then noticed that, then breathed too carefully. Now breathing was loud. Curly hated being a body. The click did not happen again. Curly listened harder. That made the silence worse. The silence had texture now. A refrigerator far away, a car somewhere outside, a pipe in the wall, the small electric hum of something plugged in. The room had too many witnesses. Curly turned onto the other side, slowly, so the bed would not join. The mattress still made a sound, a soft complaint. Curly froze, waited. Nothing answered. That was good. Probably. The phone lit up. Not fully, just a small edge of screen. Curly had moved the blanket onto it. The glow touched the floor. Curly stared at it. The time was not visible, only light. That was worse. Curly reached down and turned the phone face down again, then moved it farther away, then regretted that. If another sound happened, the flashlight would be needed. Curly pulled the phone back closer. Not close, just strategically available. The click happened again. Curly sat up, too fast. The room became a place. The blanket fell off one shoulder. Cold air touched Curly's neck. The sound had come from somewhere near the desk, or the window, or inside the wall. Those were very different categories. Curly looked toward the desk. A cup sat there. A charger cable hung off the side. A notebook lay open like it had given up earlier. Nothing moved. Curly looked toward the window. The curtain was still, too still. Curly stared at it until the curtain became suspicious. The room clicked again, this time near the door. Curly turned. The door was closed. Mostly, not fully. Curly remembered closing it fully. Maybe. Curly could not prove that. Curly stood up. The floor was cold. Curly disliked that immediately. The cold made the situation official. Curly walked to the door, step by careful step. The floor made one small sound. Curly stopped. Now Curly was also part of the problem. The door was not fully closed. There was a tiny dark line between door and frame. Curly pushed it. Softly, the latch clicked. Loud, too loud. Curly hated solving things audibly. The room went quiet again. Curly stayed by the door, hand still on the knob, listening. The hallway outside was silent. That was normal. That was also suspicious. Curly opened the door slightly, just enough. The hallway appeared. Dark, empty, unhelpful. Curly closed the door again, more carefully this time. No click. Good. Curly stood there longer, as if the door might confess. It did not. Curly returned to bed, sat on the edge. The bed made another soft sound. Curly whispered, "Stop." The bed had no reason to listen. The phone was face down on the floor again. Curly picked it up, only to check the time. This was allowed. The screen said 2:26. Curly had gone to bed at 12:58. That was information Curly did not need. A notification sat under the time. One message. Curly did not read it, then read the preview anyway. "You still up?" Curly stared at it. Terrible timing. Accurate timing. The phone had no right to know so much. Curly turned it face down. The message stayed in the room. Not visibly. Worse. Curly lay back down. The pillow was warm. Curly turned it over. The cold side was almost gone. That felt personal too. Curly closed both eyes. The click returned. Near the desk again. Curly opened both eyes. The tiny war had selected a location. Curly reached for the phone, turned on the flashlight. The room appeared all at once. Too much room. Too many objects, pretending they had not clicked. The cup on the desk, the loose charger, the notebook, the lamp, the chair with clothes on it, the laundry basket, the curtain, the door. Every object had motive. Curly pointed the flashlight at the cup. The cup did nothing. Curly pointed it at the charger. The cable moved slightly, only because Curly touched the desk. Still, Curly blamed it. Curly lifted the cable, set it down. It clicked against the wood. Curly froze. That could have been it. Maybe. Curly lifted it again, set it down softer. No click. Evidence refused to repeat. Curly moved the notebook. The pages made a dry sound. Different. Not the click. Curly moved the lamp cord. Nothing. Curly looked under the desk. A sock was there. The sock was not relevant. Curly picked it up anyway. Put it in the laundry basket. That felt like progress, not toward sleep, but somewhere. The phone flashlight caught the mirror. Curly saw themselves. Hair, wrong. Eyes too open. Mouth, slightly offended. A person awake because furniture had spoken once. Curly looked away. Some truths were too well lit. The phone screen dimmed. Curly tapped it awake. The message preview returned. You still up? Curly was up. Physically, emotionally unavailable. Curly turned the phone away. The click happened again. Behind Curly, near the window, Curly turned slowly. The curtain did not move. The window looked closed. Curly walked over, barefoot, holding the phone low. The flashlight made the floor look dramatic. There was nothing by the window, just the curtain, just the wall, just the small gap where night pressed against glass. Curly touched the window latch. It was locked. Curly unlocked it, then locked it again. The second click was huge. Curly flinched at their own solution. That sounded close, but not the same. Almost the same. Almost was worse. Curly looked at the latch. The latch looked old enough to have secrets. Curly pushed it once more. No sound. The window had stopped cooperating. Curly stepped back. The phone vibrated. Curly nearly dropped it. The message expanded. Sorry if you're sleeping. Curly stared at the screen. That was unfair. Curly was not sleeping, but should have been. That made the message both wrong and correct. Curly did not open it. Opening it would create a second room, a social room. Curly already had one room making sounds. That was enough. Curly placed the phone on the desk, face down, then realized the flashlight was still on. The light shone into the wood, uselessly. Curly turned it off. The darkness returned too fast. Curly turned the lamp on. The room became yellow, less scary, more embarrassing. Under real light, the whole situation looked smaller. A cup, a cable, a window, a person in socks holding a problem too carefully. Curly sat in the chair. The chair creaked. Curly stood up immediately. The chair had confessed to a different crime. Curly pushed the chair in, then pulled it out slightly, then pushed it in again. The chair made 3 sounds. None were right. Curly did not like how many things could almost explain it. The phone buzzed on the desk. Curly looked at it, still face down, a rectangle asking for attention without showing its face. Curly turned it over. The message was still there. No new one, just the old kindness sitting too close. Curly opened the chat by mistake. That was the story, always by mistake. The messages marked read. Curly stared at the word, read, the smallest accusation. The text box appeared. Curly typed, yeah, then stopped. Too available. Deleted it. Typed, kind of. Too honest. Deleted it. Typed, not really. That made no sense. Deleted it. The click happened again. Curly looked up, relieved. A sound had saved them from a message. That was not ideal. Curly left the text box empty, picked up the phone, followed the sound toward the wall. There was a picture frame there, slightly crooked. Maybe it had shifted. Maybe wood had expanded. Maybe the building was settling. Maybe the world was normal and Curly was not. Curly straightened the frame, stepped back. It was still crooked. Curly adjusted it again. Now, it was crooked differently. The frame became a new problem. Curly took it off the wall. The hook clicked softly. Curly froze. That was close. Very close. Curly put the frame back. The hook clicked again. Same sound. Maybe. Curly stared at the frame. The case should have been closed. Curly did not feel closed. Curly waited. The room waited too. No sound. Curly exhaled. Too loudly. The phone buzzed again. A new message. You don't have to answer now. Curly closed their eyes. That message required an answer. Not technically. Emotionally. Curly sat on the bed. The phone in hand. The frame on the wall. The door latched. The window locked. The room had been investigated. Nothing had improved. Curly opened the keyboard. The cursor blinked. Brighter than necessary. Curly typed, "No, it's okay, I'm awake." The sentence sat there. Too honest. It invited follow-up. Curly deleted, "I'm awake." Now, "No, it's okay." Too flat. Added, "Just can't sleep." Too open. Deleted, "Can't." Now, "Just sleep." Not language. Deleted everything. Typed, "All good." The phrase arrived too easily, like an old coworker. Curly stared at it. No one had asked if it was good. Curly deleted it. Typed, "Sorry, too guilty." Deleted it. Typed, "Lol, absolutely not." Deleted it quickly. The text box was empty. Curly had removed every possible version of being a person. The click returned, somewhere behind the bed. Curly almost thanked it, then felt embarrassed. Curly placed the phone face down on the blanket. Too soft. Not stable. Moved it to the floor. Too far. Moved it to the pillow. Too intimate. Left it beside the pillow anyway. Curly got down beside the bed. The floor was colder now. Curly looked underneath. The flashlight entered first. Dust. A charger head. One pen. A receipt. A hair tie that was not Curly's. Curly stared at the hair tie. That was not tonight's issue. It still became one. Curly reached under the bed, pulled out the receipt. The paper made a small, dry click against the floorboard. Curly froze. Could that have been it? A receipt. A stupid little receipt. Curly checked it. It was from 3 weeks ago. A coffee. A sandwich. A time printed on top. 11:42 p.m. Curly did not remember buying that. Curly put the receipt on the desk, not in the trash. For some reason, evidence needed a place. The click happened again. Not the receipt. Curly stared at the bed frame. The sound had come from there. Maybe. Curly pressed the frame lightly. It clicked. There. Curly pressed again. It clicked again. Curly felt a rush of victory. Small. Embarrassing. Real. The bed frame. Of course. Curly had found it. Curly pressed it one more time. No click. The victory weakened. Curly pressed harder. Still nothing. The bed frame had chosen silence. Curly sat back, defeated by inconsistent furniture. The phone buzzed. Curly did not need to look. Curly looked. The message said, "Actually, never mind, good night." Curly stared. That was the door closing. Politely, softly, without asking. Curly should have felt relieved. Curly felt relieved, then immediately felt left out of the problem Curly had avoided. That was unfair. Curly knew that. Knowing was not a cure. Curly opened the chat. The text box waited. Curly typed, "Sorry, I heard a weird noise." That was true. Too strange. Deleted weird. Typed, "Small. Sorry, I heard a small noise." Now it sounded worse. Curly deleted it. Typed, "Sorry, wasn't ignoring you. Too direct, too guilty." Deleted it. Typed, "Good night. Safe. Clean. Possibly cold." Curly added a period. Too formal. Removed the period. Added, "No." Deleted it. The message was, "Good night." Curly hovered above send. The room clicked. Curly looked up. Again. A real sound. A tiny sound. A stupid sound. Curly sent the message without meaning to. The phone locked immediately after. Curly pressed the side button like that could undo tone. The room stayed yellow. The lamp was still on. Curly had forgotten the lamp. Curly turned it off. Darkness returned. The fan was not on. The room was quieter now. Too quiet. The bed frame clicked once. Clear. Obvious. Definitely the bed. Curly should have been satisfied. Curly was not. Knowing the source did not remove the listening. Now Curly listened for proof. The bed frame clicked again. Curly whispered, "Okay," like accepting terms. The phone vibrated. Curly opened their eyes, reached for it, stopped. The phone was face down beside the pillow, close enough to hear, far enough to pretend. Curly waited. The phone did not vibrate again. Curly turned it over. The reply said, "Good night." That was all. No extra word. No warmth. No injury. Just matching energy. Curly looked at it. Curly had sent a door. Received a door. The room clicked. The bed frame. The known problem. The solved problem. Still ruining things. Curly typed nothing. Then opened the keyboard. Then closed it. Then opened it again. The cursor appeared. Ready to make everything worse. Curly typed, "Sorry." Deleted it. Typed, "Sleep well." Deleted it. Typed, "You too." There had been no "sleep well." Deleted it. The empty box looked safer. Also lonelier. Curly locked the phone. Placed it face down. Then turned it slightly so the edge of the screen showed. Just in case. The bed frame clicked. Curly did not move. The click was identified now. It should not matter. It mattered. Curly adjusted the blanket. The blanket caught on the phone. The phone slid closer. Curly left it there. The pillow was warm. Curly turned it over. No cold side. Of course. The room was dark again. The sound was small again. The night was already ruined in a way nobody else could see. Curly closed both eyes. The bed clicked once more. Curly listened. Not because it was scary now, because the silence after it had become worse.